This is Car Guys Talk with Andrew and Tavarish.
I want to talk a little bit about what people don't know about making YouTube videos.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've noticed, and I've noticed it from myself, and I've noticed it from other people, like, and these are, I'm not going to name any names, but it's just like big YouTubers, like have talked to me about this, and it's loneliness. And like it's isolation from people, even though you're putting out videos that have tens or hundreds or millions of hits, you know, they feel isolated from the world because you are essentially by yourself in your own little bubble for this world you created for yourself.
Right.
And people are just, it's kind of like the Truman Show. Except Truman has like a fake wife. In that,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think you create that bubble because you're just basically working every day of the week.
Right.
And then the days that you quote unquote take off are spent, in your case, with your wife here at home.
Right.
Decompressing, relaxing.
Those are, I mean, people usually say, okay, most people, they have a 9-to-5 job, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And during the weekend, that's when they go out or they get some housework done or they they have time for themselves. And at 5 o'clock, that's when your time starts, right? Essentially. But when you have a YouTube channel, it's like you're on all the time. I worked yesterday was, what day is today? Monday? Today?
Yes.
Today. Okay. We're recording this on a Monday.
Yes.
Yesterday I worked the entire day. Like I woke up 5 in the morning. For some reason I couldn't sleep. Did some editing, put out a video. Then I had to go through the comments in the video or whatever because I was selling a car. Ended up selling the car, the Viper that we just talked about. And then I had to, and then my friend Hendo came over, the guy who was helping me fabricate the stuff on the Lamborghini. So we worked on that like for the rest of the day. And I was also filming for that. And like by the time I get back into bed, it's midnight. And I'm just like, I remember I got in the shower and I was like, nah, I feel pretty good. And then the second you get in the shower, you're like, oh, like
the shower is usually the punctuation to the day.
Right.
The end of that long sentence.
Sure. But it's you go to sleep. Hopefully you go to sleep and you have like maybe 20, 30 minutes for yourself. And then you have to do the whole thing over again. So it's, but I've noticed with YouTube and YouTubers specifically, it's like you always have to produce content, but then it does take a human toll on you because if you go to a event, like we haven't been to events. I know you go to events actually. I mean, you've been recognized a few times, right?
Oh yeah, just like at local car meets.
Local car meets, right?
Yeah.
But if you go to an event where it's like a lot of car guys are there, it's really it's kind of a wake-up call because you realize how far-reaching this stuff is. I mean, when I went to the UK, Goodwood, like this is a completely different country, and people were like stopping me and saying, "Hey, can I have a selfie or something like that?" I went to a museum in, I want to say it was in Austria or Germany or something, and I just posted some pics from the museum. Some guy in the museum, he was like, "Hey, are you Tavarish?" And he started talking to me about like the Hoovy's Ferrari and stuff. Like this is on the other side of the world.
That's crazy. That's like, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But then I'm thinking, how do I present myself to these other people? And you start to get into into your own head, and you're like, wow, this is. Do I really want myself to get? Because you have to edit yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
You were just telling me about this clip that we had for Art of the Flip, and you're saying this. You have some angle that's not very flattering to you, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's going to go out and be seen by hundreds of thousands of people, hopefully.
But yeah.
And like, but what are those people thinking of? Like, if that's your only interaction with them, and then those people are like, "Hey, I'm a fan of your work, but man, that shot was real bad."
Yeah.
So, but the whole thing is like the loneliness aspect is a lot of YouTubers that I know that are really into this stuff. They don't have like a normal family life. And I've noticed that like their relationships seem to suffer, a bit. Like I'm very fortunate in that my wife is like very understanding. And also we met but like we got married before I started doing YouTube.
Right.
And I know that people have had issues with a YouTube upload schedule. Adam LZ had issues with that. Adam, we both know him. I don't know the situation, so whatever. But I know there's some friction there. Kind of dating, picking up people, that sort of thing is hard because you have such a unconventional life.
And I think that on top of that, in both of our situations, we both live in pretty isolated areas.
Yeah.
I think me a little more than you. You actually have neighbors where I just have cows.
Yeah.
I'm literally in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I also have cows and horses. It's not like, and every time somebody comes out here, it's like, man, you're out in the sticks.
You'd be like, yeah, let's go to Andrew's house and then you'll see
exactly.
where the sticks are made.
Yeah.
Like it is the stick factory.
Mine is where the sticks go for vacation. Yours where the sticks
go to die.
Yeah, go to die.
Right. So even if I weren't doing this YouTube thing, even prior to jumping into this world feet first, my social life had suffered greatly. So now it's just kind of like that was the killing blow to my social life. So much so that I just don't even try to like. I don't really even use like Tinder or Bumble or any of that stuff. It's just like, hey, we matched. Come out to the middle of nowhere where no one can hear you scream. Like it's just that doesn't work. Like, hey, you want to come hang out with me over here in the middle of nowhere?
I'm exactly 900 minutes from wherever you are.
Yeah. So I don't bother. There's no point. Plus, it gives me more.
Do you know how to use your high beams? Because you're gonna need them if you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that like it's hard because you have all these commenters that are like, well, I'm going to unsub because you just keep making videos about the same car for years and years and years.
Right.
How about you come try to do this?
No, I get that.
Like, just
of course. There's always people.
I do see both sides. Like, sure, I see both sides. But like, how about you try to act as an entire production company and get stuff done within a matter of days?
Yeah.
Both working on the cars and editing the videos. Like, go ahead.
It's not feasible. You can do it, but your production quality suffers. If you do it to a really crazy degree, like the Obsessed Garage guys, they get one video out per month.
Yeah,
and their stuff is like insane. Like I have no idea how they get that much out. Because one video per month for the amount of work that they do.
Obsessed Garage or Gears and Gas?
Oh no, I'm not Obsessed. Bad Obsession Motorsports.
Bad Obsession. Okay,
yeah. Obsessed Garage. That's Matt Mormon. He also makes good videos, but I'm talking about Bad Obsession Motorsports for Project Binky.
I mean, even Gears and Gasoline, same thing.
Gears and Gasoline
it's
as well.
Just two guys usually. I think they have an intern every once in a while, but they're like that goals.
Yeah,
goals.
Yeah, they make really really good stuff.
Yeah, they do.
And their stuff does for a while. Their stuff didn't do as well as it should have.
Yeah.
But now they've
gained a lot of traction.
They got their stride. And I really
if you
like
guys
that.
haven't seen their road trip from Florida to Alaska, I highly recommend it. Not only is it great, entertaining to watch, just the way that it's presented, their cinematography, the shots that they get, just oh my gosh, like it's so good.
It's really good. But I mean, even then, let's say you have a significant other, then it's a lot harder for that person to, if you have to go to an event or you have to take a week off or you have to do this thing and you have to have late nights, like it's just a grind where there's not a lot of people that are really willing to do that sort of support for you. And that's where a lot of people on YouTube, like people don't talk about this. They don't talk about how there's most of my friends, You're literally. I know this is really like this is so cheesy. You're my only friend here. Like you're my own. I've lived here for like two and a half years.
I would say that like Hendo and Eric.
Yeah. But like
someone who you see on a regular basis.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Hendo and I have never hung out.
Okay.
We hang out every once in a while. You come over to my house and we play video games.
Yeah.
We've done that a few times, right? Like. As far as friends, not like friends that also are in my videos and can do like a promotion type thing.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends, and like I'm an introvert. I'm perfectly fine being alone.
I used to be very extroverted, and I still have extroverted tendencies, but living where I've
Well,
lived.
what does extroverted tendencies mean? Do you just wake up and you just yell?
I just wake up. What's up, guys? It's
nobody-
your boy back at it again with another day.
You just scare your cat.
But living where I've lived over the past like 3 years or so, I've definitely I've become addicted to the isolation and just
Yeah.
not having to worry about pleasing others.
Right,
Just
no.
do what I want when I want.
Yeah, there's a good thing to that. I mean, with me, I just go, I don't go out to bars, I don't drink, I don't
Yeah,
do
same.
any of this stuff, and basically, I just go and work on my cars. But for people that do need some kind of emotional attachment, I can imagine. Like I have, my wife lives here with me, and that's when she's not around. Then it does get like isolating sometimes. It's like, wow, this house is really empty. Like
That's every day in my life.
yeah. So, and I know how that feels. I know how that.
Well, I mean, I do have my cat,
Yeah, there we go.
and she
There
is
we go.
real sweet. So
She's your buddy. She's your buddy.
she's my pal.
Okay, so onto a little lighter note. I don't want to go on to for too much, but I think that's definitely a cost. I get a lot of emails about people wanting to start a YouTube channel, and just have that in the back of your mind, because if a lot of people can start a YouTube channel like on the side. And I think that's probably how you should start it. Just start it on the side where you already have kind of a source of income. And then on the side, you can be like, now it doesn't really matter what you do. You can find your niche and all that stuff. But if you start to have this as a full-time thing, get ready for this to take strain on like both your health, sanity, all that stuff. And I mean, it's very rewarding. I mean, you get to do stuff that nobody else can do. You make your own schedule. You're your own boss.
But that's few and far between. That's not every single day or every single weekend. Like
Right. Yeah, it's few and far between. But I've also noticed that there's these studies done, and it's like the top 3% of YouTubers make the most. It's like they make like 60% of the money. I'm paraphrasing. I don't really know what the stats are, but it's like some really small percentage of YouTubers make a crazy amount of money, and everybody else just gets like table scraps. So and for you to make enough money to get like just enough money to pay your bills, that is a hump you have to get over. But once you start getting into that, let's say top 10% or top 20% or whatever, then it starts going, and your workload increases substantially.
Yeah, exponentially.
Yeah, and when you have, I mean, how many projects do we have going on right now? And it's just like you can't get to them all. It's just we have this. You have to. The sponsors have to we have to talk to sponsors, try to get them on board. That's like a back and forth. Then there's filming, there's editing, there's making sure all the parts there. It's a logistics problem. So it's definitely a full-time job on top of
A full-time job.
on top of like before you even press play, press record, right?
Yeah.
It's a full-time job. So but it's fun. So that's where I'll leave it.
It's fun to be alone all the time.
It is. Well, it's there are pros and cons. That's one of the cons, but there's also a lot of pros.